Attractive.
Ronaldo.
I know.
Cristiano Ronaldo right now. So if we're going to talk about, sorry, Andrew Tate, you're not top G. You're not top G. You're in jail. Top G is Cristiano Ronaldo, who is worth, I think, over $1 billion, who is, I mean, looks like an Adonis. I'm sorry, no homo, but that man is an 11 plus, one of the most famous men on the planet. Seems like a genuinely nice guy. He is playing soccer in Saudi Arabia right now with his unmarried girlfriend, cohabitating, and Saudi Arabia has bent that's a no-no. They're an Islamic country. You can't cohabitate with a woman unless you're married to her. And they have bent that law just for him to play soccer. And guess who he's with? He is with a woman who was working a checkout at a Gucci store. She was a counter chick. And he's made a kid with her now. They're making a family. I think after he spoke with Jordan Peterson about a year ago, because I think Ronaldo was in that situation. You can see it where it's like, I'm at the top of the world. Like, there isn't really anything. Like, what else is there for Cristiano Ronaldo to do? I mean, and he spoke, I think he was a bit lost. He spoke with Peterson. Peterson flew out and spent a weekend with him. And they haven't really spoken about what they talked about, but it's going to be Peterson just basically doing that course that he runs where it's like,
Yeah.
well, let's talk about what your dreams are. And anyways, yeah, but that is a counter chick, a chick working a counter at a Gucci store, and the most sought after, hottest man on the planet, most sought after bachelor. Yeah, that's who he's with. George Clooney dated a cocktail waitress for years.
Well,
I mean,
what I mean by up, right? And that's I'm going to phrase it this way. So what I think uh, most aptly applies to Cristiano, myself, and most men who choose what would be constituted as a unusual mate would be uh, they bring something to the table that we don't have, and they offer it in a manner that doesn't have a prerequisite. Like when I said to Sandy, it was fun. It's like I said, we should live together. She's like, no. I'm like, why? And she's like, well, because we're not married, and I'm not going to show my daughters that's what you do. And it was like, I left that night arguing with myself, thinking, I'm not going to walk away from this relationship. And I said I'd never get married again. But this woman offers me something that I can't replace. She loves me without condition. And
well, she put a condition on it though. She has standards, right? She
well,
wouldn't get
that's
in
the
if she
thing,
like.
right? And that's where I'm saying to being a good
My
mate.
mom refused the millionaire lawyer 3 times over 3 years before she finally agreed to a date with him. And my mom is a registered nurse. She's not money. She doesn't come from money. She
But
comes from nowhere like me. So,
but
but it didn't matter because she had like it just
she
she wasn't ready to date. She wasn't dating anyone, and she wasn't going to make an exception for Mr. Millionaire Hotshot Lawyer. Didn't matter that he had money and status and clout. Didn't matter. She wasn't ready to date, so she told him no. And that kept him interested because he's not a man that hears no a lot. Pretty much ever. The only one he hears no from is my mom.
well, and I think the thing with Cristiano is that he didn't want a woman that wanted him because of who he was as Cristiano, but he wanted somebody that wanted the best for Cristiano, whatever that looked like, right? And
And how do you tell? That's like from his perspective,
how do you
when
tell,
you
right?
are
Because
the
she
most wanted man by
because
all
she
women
was a
across the
checkout
planet.
artist, because she was a
Yeah.
cashier, and simply
And he met her.
yes,
He ran into her. She didn't slide into his DMs.
right.
She didn't bump into him at a whatever. No, he just ran into
And
her
she was
organically.
attractive to him.
Yeah, and she was nice to him. She probably recognized
She
him.
probably didn't. It was probably that she didn't. recognize him.
If she didn't, that would be perfect because that would be the best. Yeah, I agree. If she didn't recognize him, he probably fell head over heels right then and there,
Because
just because
she
he
didn't
was
know who she
actually
was.
like,
Oh, you're
well,
so cute.
and she would have just been treating him a bit like professionally, a bit
Yep.
standoffish, like, oh yeah, he's a hunky guy, but you work in a Gucci store, you've seen hunky guys before, you're not gonna, make a fool of yourself for that. If you don't recognize him as Ronaldo, then oh yeah, then that's probably she might have accidentally just done the perfect thing, which is just like, yeah, just another guy. Like, oh yeah, you're nice looking, but whatever.
So that's an interesting thought, and I think it's quite true. And I also think that I want to get back to our topic, which what makes a male, because we've been discussing a lot
Yeah, we
around.
can't be Ronaldo. Like, none of
Right.
us are going to be
So,
Ronaldo. He's in a
it,
pretty unique situation.
right. So we're not going to have the ability to walk into a room and hope somebody
He
doesn't
has
recognize
pre-selection.
us.
Pre-selection is a thing where, and it makes perfect sense, where if lots of other women want a guy, that makes the guy more attractive to all other women.
Right.
It's if a man is if